Well, here we are with the problem Zenfone 5. This phone didn't work with output jack cable audio and looks like female jack audio was broken. And why the phone may cause damage in output jack audio? Today, we're gonna take this part to see what happened and of course to fix with the new parts that I've been bought. Let's get started. This guide explains the process behind removing and replace the Zenfone 5 phone's PCB board connector, charge, and jack audio, and the tools we need to do so. The PCB, or we call it printed circuit board, connector, charge, and jack audio is an electric connector component necessary to the function of the phone that allow the charger, speaker output, and other hardware elements to communicate with each other. If your phone overheats while charging or won't connected audio output together, the PCB connector may be damaged. That replacement PCB for the phone may be hard to find, but you can also buy in online store for the good price. Note: if you don't want to take a risk, please go to service center and skip this video. And now, I'm gonna tell you about safety guidelines and instructions for cell phone repair. The first is a clean workstation. Agreed that cell phone repair is a mind-eating and stressful job. It doesn't mean that you be careless and keep your workstation disorganized. The second, use correct tools. To work as professional technicians, it is a must that you should have all the tools that are normally required. Additionally, you should have all the specialized tools for the particular device you want to fix. The tools we need are screwdriver, heat gun, suction cup, spudger, thin blade, and the other tools. Third, accumulate all small parts into a tray. Whenever you disassemble any handset, always make it a point that you gather all the detached parts in a separate tray or container, so that you don't have to remember and look for the parts when you reassemble the handset. In this case, I use my SD card cover. Next, take care of delicate parts. Most of the parts in smartphone are delicate, hence it is a must that care has to be taken while disassembling this delicate device. Any attempts to forcefully remove our parts can damage the parts or the motherboard to an irreparable situation. Next, care while using heat equipment. All equipment such as soldering iron, rework stations, hot air gun, and so on, which are used manually while doing repair, have to be used with utmost caution so that the user don't get scalded or burned by them. And the last, take care of your data. When you perform a factory reset or reinstall the operating system in a phone, all the data stored in its completely deleted. The data may be very important for some people, so it is bad advice that I inform you before doing it. Every day is safety day. Safety has no holiday. Let's get started. Step 1. Power your phone off before you begin. If possible, drain the battery before disassembling. When the battery is charged, there is increased risk of a dangerous terminal even if the battery is overheated or damaged during repair. If your backdoor is cracked, completely cover it with packing tape to contain the glass shard and avoid injury. Step 2. Heat the parameter of the backdoor to soften the adhesive screwing it. If available, use the hot plate or heat pad. Place the phone face down and heat it to 85 degrees Celsius for at least 15 minutes. Otherwise, use a heat gun to evenly heat the entire parameter of the backdoor. until it's too hot to touch. Try to maintain a high temperature for 15 until 20 minutes, but beware that without exact control for the temperature, you can easily destroy the backdoor. Wear heat-resistant anti-static gloves as needed to safely handle the phone after this step. In the following step, you will separate the backdoor panel and cover glass assemble from the phone chassis. For references, the contour of the backdoor panel tools can only be inserted into the back of camera notch at the top and along the very thin, just over 1 mm, black bezel surrounding the backdoor. Inserting tool at any other locations risks permanently damage to the other hardware. Step 3. While the phone is still hot, apply a heavy-duty suction cup to the top half of the backdoor. After position the suction cup, gently press down and then close the handle to secure fasten the suction cup to the backdoor surface. If your backdoor is badly cracked, the suction cup may not adhere. Skip to the next steps and use your blade to slice under the backdoor as best as you can. Step 4. Pull on the suction cup handle to open the slight gap between the top edge of the backdoor and the phone titanium enclosure. You only need very slight gap, but this may require a significant amount of force. If you are having trouble, apply more heat and try again. Step 5. Insert a thin blade or pry tool into the backdoor at the side of the phone. Step 5. Insert a thin blade or pry tool into the backdoor at the side of the phone. The gap where you can safely insert the tool is only about 5 mm wide. If you hit the backdoor with your tools, you will damage it. Use your suction cup and blade or pry tools to widen the gap at the top of the backdoor until you can insert a second tool under the glass, close to the corner. Insert a halberd spudger no more than 1 mm under the backdoor and cut the adhesive all along the top edges. The bezel surrounding the backdoor panel is likely over 1 mm deep. If you insert your tool any deeper, you can damage the backdoor. Step 6. Carefully slide a pick underneath to separate the adhesive screwing it to the metal sill. Continue carefully sparing at the adhesive at the top corner and down both sides of the backdoor, and don't insert your tool more than 1 mm. Pull carefully on the suction cup to swing the top edge of the backdoor away from the chassis. Leave the bottom edge connector for now. The glue will most likely continue to hold it in place. Step 7. Use the point of a spudger to pry the fingerprint cable pop connector straight out from its socket. Carefully open the clamp on the suction cup to release the suctions and remove the suction cup. Swing the backdoor open to about 90 degrees and prop it up against some sturdy so it doesn't move while you work. An open soda or can of soap work well as a prop. If needed, gently add a rubber band to help secure the backdoor. Carefully remove the fingerprint cable to separate the pop connector that secure it to the backdoor underneath. You can use spudger or your nails. Remove your backdoor, then pull it in the safe place. Use a Phillips 00 driver to remove the two 1.5 mm screws securing the bottom speaker. Once the backdoor has been removed, unscrew the bottom speaker. In order this step, some phone may be different location of the screw. Make sure you collect the screw and the spare part that have been unscrewed so that they don't disappear when reassembling them. Likely, this phone doesn't have a wireless charger, so it doesn't take a time to remove it. Note, if you have a different cell phone that has a wireless charger sensor, you can remove the adhesive around the panel and the pop connector. Use the point of spudger to pry the speaker and cable pop connector straight off from its sockets. If necessary, add a little heat to soften the adhesive and make it easier to separate. Remove the tape covering the loudspeaker cable connector with a tweezer. Use the flat end of the spudger to lift the tab of the loudspeaker cable connector. Use the flat end of the spudger to lift up the tab of the speaker from the bezel. Use the same screwdriver to remove the remaining 3.5mm screw at the top of the PCB board with the same screwdriver. Using a tweezer, pull out the connector motherboard from the PCB. Do the same with other cable just like a little Lego. Carefully lift the PCB out of your phone. This may require some fidgeting to unhook the PCB board. You can also use a spudger to lift the PCB off the phone as well. For other type of phone, to enter this step may be a little different. For example, I took my Samsung's. To replace the PCB board connector charge and jack audio, you have to remove all the components that block the PCB board one by one, including the motherboard, but not include for the LCD screens because we don't need that if it's still working normal. As we can see in here, there is a difference in the part of the female connector peel off between the new PCB and the old one. Most likely occur due to the use of an audio jack that is not normal, so that can damage this component. Step 11. Replace the new PCB like the old one. Before installing the new PCB, remove all trace of the old adhesive, then clean the port, the glue area of the cases, if you are using it, with isopropyl alcohol and a lint-free cloth. Install a new PCB in the same place, and if we shake it, it won't move, or you can put a thin double-sided adhesive tape for the PCB. Step 12. Repeat the step until your phone gets started. Connect the motherboard connector and the other, screw back the speaker and necessary clean the area for phone before reinstalling the backdoor. If you are remove all the old backdoor adhesive, then you will need to attach with a strong double-sided adhesive step such a 1mm tesa along the edge of the titanium bezel as needed, but not too much. Don't forget to plug in the fingerprint pop-up connector. After reassemble the phone, force restart your phone to prevent potential software issues. Power on the phone to test your repair before sealing the backdoor panel. Tie with the rubber band until it sticks permanent. As you can see off the top right of the notification bar, if we enter the cable jack, there will be a headphone logo. That means if this works, also play a music. Then click the headset button to make sure the female connect was normal. And make sure your charge plug into the phone, it will be charged. That means the PCB board is running normally. If you want your phone to be perfectly attached to the backdoor, you can tie the phone with a rubber band until it sticks. Wait 2 until 3 hours for the best result. Well, this is the top one. The Zenfone 5 phone have been some of my favorite phone for a long time. And just because the Zenfone 5 follows the function of the one parts, it doesn't make a bad phone. It just have some weak points that the potential owner should be aware. Take care of it. As always, let me know what you think. Write down in the comment. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. I'll see you around.